Pardon me. Apologies for the tardy. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Welcome to Soft Sports. If you're not familiar with Soft Sports is a Houston, Texas homer network, and yes, another show with little bitty honcho in the corner, mini honcho in the corner. So don't ask, where's honcho? I hear him, but I can't see him. I'm in the corner, so now you ain't got to ask no questions. But we got two gentlemen from the round getting down with us. They're gonna have a real good conversation pertaining the opinion of the rest of the nation in the Texans' latest quarterback sensation. And the power rankings came out, right? The power rankings came out. Some things have shifted. Some things have moved. Seems like attitudes are swaying. Seems like different things that people are saying. We'll find out about that. Before we get into that, who we got joining us this evening in the round? Oh, hold on 1 second, Spitz. I think I tried. I told you the damn thing ain't say to say that. It wouldn't be a show if it wasn't a fry by honcho. Give me 1 second. Y'all know how this goes. Look, it's been something, this, that, and or the other. Hold on, baby. Hold on. Let me see where we at. All right. I don't know what the hell this thing is. Let me add this real quick and we'll be good to go. I don't know what's exciting from yesterday. This must not have properly. All right. Let's try that one more again, man.
What's up, Sauce Nation? It's your boy Spitz. Out here with my brothers out here once again. Sauce Sports is back. We told you before. We ain't going nowhere. We still here. Ready to talk about these Texans. Stand up, Sauce Nation.
Nah, I can't hear Honcho. Can you hear Honcho?
Yeah, I
Nah, I
can
can't
hear
hear
you.
him. But it's all good. It's your boy Wise. Make sure y'all hit. You know what? Salute to everybody in the chat. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the membership. Get the membership. Get the Patreon. Get involved. You know we're gonna be here talking smack, and we're gonna support the Houston Texans. I mean, we originated the sauce. We dripped the sauce. We flooded the sauce. Now it's implemented in the sauce. The sauce is bleeding right now.
That's my fault. I muted myself. Double muted. Mute on one end. If I ain't muting on the damn computer, I'm muting on the mic. Anyway, y'all know it's just look, we getting back into the groove of things. Players fuck up, real players fuck up a lot. But anyway, shout out to young Ken holding it down. What the hell is Sauce Sports, right? That's what I'm wondering. I know that's what the people the people asking where the hell is Sauce Sports. So look, we back. We told y'all it wasn't a fluke. I told y'all I know it was a little patchy there for a little, been a little sporadic, but we back at it. You know what I'm saying? So expect the sauce like you were used to the sauce, right? It's just like old time. So y'all know we do a little thing around here, man. Real quick, Sauce Nation roll call. Shout out to Side with Pride, your hood, Avenue, Block, Cul-de-sac, Street, Boulevard, Circle. I don't know. Some of y'all might live on one of them little traffic circles. I hate them hoes. Little traffic circles. That's the stupidest shit in the world to me. Because why not just have a four-way stop? Because it's basically the same shit. Anyway, I'm going off track. Military rank in school, highest grade. You might be a college grad, might rep your degree, whatever. However you identify, man. Put your love out there. We'll show you some digital love your way. But like I said, there's a lot to talk about. The nation has shifted their perspective. Power rankings have come out. The Texans have seemed to have moved up significantly on many people's lists, right? And I want to know how much of this is behind the hype of light skinned CJ, right? Like, are the Texans for real? Is light skinned CJ for real? Are we just living in the moment? Have we seen this show before? I got a lot of questions. So we're gonna answer those questions. And I'm gonna find out. Shout out to SDL Titans, man. I can't. I'm in. Well, see, look. Here's the thing. I'm using Teams, right? And that shit made me think of the Clayton Bigsby six. Show your face. We want to see your face. But yeah, appreciate the love, STL Titans, babe. I'm down in a little corner. We'll fix it. We'll have it fixed tomorrow, one way or another. We'll figure something out. But yeah. So we'll start off with the wise man. What have you noticed about public opinion? It's not just hype here in Houston because we're happy to have a quarterback, but we kind of seen this story a little bit before. Do you think this is something different? Do you think this is the real deal?
I think we need to do some investigations. I mean, it's looking a little suspicious out here. I just remember like 4 weeks ago they was ranking us number 31 in the league, number 32 in the league, number 30 in the league in the power rankings. They was telling the Houston Texans y'all was gonna give the Cardinals the number one pick in the draft. They were saying CJ Stroud was a retard, even though we know he's an intelligent young man. Um, they were saying Willie Anderson wasn't the right pick. They were saying Tyree Wilson was going to be better than him. They were saying D'Amico Bryant wasn't the right head coaching decision. We get rid of too many coaches. They were saying Stingley was a bust. Stingley still got to prove himself. He gotta stay healthy about that one. But you know, I just have to throw that out there. They were saying Nico Collins can't do this, can't do that. We said Nico Collins can't do this, we can't do that. They said we had
So
one of
I
the
mean,
worst. Yeah, they said we had one of the worst receiving cores. But all of a sudden, they said we got the best receiving core. We got the best rookie quarterback. We got the best head coach hiring. All of a sudden, they start seeing what CJ Stroud and the boys been putting on the field and how D'Amico was able to grasp around his team and made them show it out on the field. And they like, whoa, the Houston Texans for real. They not a team that you can just sit around say that's an easy team, easy game on the schedule. And one key thing about this is we talked about it in the Discord. It was really going to be a testament to how good of a coach D'Amico Ryans is. When these guys went down with injuries, and half of the team is missing, and half of your starters is missing, how you gonna have the team respond? How you gonna have them young bulls rally around those around your team and your veterans? And one key thing we seen in that game was I believe it was against the Colts when we was getting our ass smacked. uh, CJ Stroud and Willie Anderson had to rally the team, bruh. They had to rally the team. They like, we got to pick it up. And it shouldn't take two of your rookies to come in there and try to rally up your veterans. The veterans should be the ones that's leading the team and saying, hey, we got to step this up. We got to be putting a better effort on the field and things of that sort. So, one thing when I'm looking at these power rankings, um, I don't want to get it too ahead of myself. I don't want to get too excited. Like I said, I'm taking it week by week. At the end of the day, we still are Houston Texans. But otherwise, bruh, it feel good. It feel good to be Houston Texans fans right now. Yeah, we ain't never seen this media attention in a long time. We haven't seen us on ESPNs. We haven't seen us on Sports Centers. We haven't seen us on NFL networks. We haven't seen us on CBS Sports. We everywhere. NBC Network. They got Houston Texans everywhere. They got CJ Stroud everywhere. It's amazing time. But I don't want us to get too ahead of ourselves, and then we get too excited. And then when we lose a game, everybody getting disappointed and saying, oh, we need to fire D'Amico. Oh, CJ wasn't the answer. Oh, look at this. See, we knew it was all a fluke. No, this is a very young team. We got the youngest team in the NFL that's starting the most rookies on their team, and it's gonna be a learning curve. So they're gonna have their highs, they're gonna have their lows. Some games they're gonna perform and they're gonna like they just did to the Steelers, what they did to the Jags, and then they might come out another week and they might be flat. So I want to say, yeah, it feel good. I see us, they got us ranked 11, 14, 12. To me, that's a little too high for our liking right now. I think we should be like maybe like 18 to 20 range, maybe 20, 22, 23. We still got to earn that respect. We only beat two teams. We beat the Steelers. They don't got a weak, I mean, they got a weak quarterback, but they had a top five defense. That's all I heard last week was the Steelers had a top five defense. And then we beat Trevor Lawrence. We know Sunshine's pretty hair. Sunshine boy, he have his wife flat iron his hair before the game. I mean, we're supposed to beat them. We beat them the last 11 meetings. So at the end of the day, I still think this team got a lot to prove. They got to keep doing what they're doing, step on these other teams' neck. And when you get a lead, you got to still be aggressive. That's one thing we haven't seen from the Texans in the past. Once we get a lead, we usually lay down, we get conservative. But what I've seen from this Houston Texans team is they staying on team's neck, they throwing it down the field, they letting CJ do what he got to do, and D'Amico being aggressive, bringing these blitzes on the defensive side of the ball. So I just want to tell Texans fan, it's great that they got us in these power rankings. Power rankings is a media thing, but at the end of the day, we just want to see results. We've been a Houston Texans fan for 23 years, and or 22 years. Well, 23 years, because when they came out and told us they was creating a Texan, we was excited. We was already a Texan fan, but we want to see a Super Bowl, and that's the end goal. We realize that ain't gonna happen this year. Maybe not next year, but the year after, bro, we got to get that thing. So that's all I got to say. Just keep your stay temper, stay modest. Let's see how the team keep going. Take it week by week, and let's just go from there. Maybe they can surprise us and shock the world and do something we never seen before.
Like what I say, don't just hop on the emotional roller coaster right now. Just keep it chill, slow boogie, let things develop. All right, okay. Spitz. A lot of national media attention, a lot of hype around what light skinned CJ is doing. I mean, he's putting up the numbers. It looks good. What do you think? Is this a solid, real foundation? Are we on the hype train right now? Are the Texans as good as they're getting ranked in the power rankings?
What do they have us in the power rankings?
I seen what 11. I think 11 or 12. I'm thinking of like a 14. Like why I said I've seen them top 15 mostly the ones I've seen.
Beg your pardon. They got us. They got us in the top half of the league.
Yeah.
Huh. And I agree with Wise because, like, just a couple weeks ago, all the decisions were wrong decisions, and now, since we string a couple games together, now this hype train. I think it mostly is because of how we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers, how we made that team look. Because even though we can all be attested, we all can say, okay, that's not a normal Pittsburgh Steelers team. They ain't your Green Day Steelers team. That's not a Big Ben Steelers team. They still got that same logo on the helmet. So because they got that logo on him, because they got the fan base that travels all across America, they travel in Pittsburgh Steelers because they travel very well. And it's a lot of famous people who are Pittsburgh Steelers fans. That name still hold weight. So beating them still holds weight. I remember back in 2011 when we made our first playoffs we started off the season. I know it was week 5. I think we started the season 2-2 or 2 or 3-1.
Okay. Lost Spitz there for a second. We'll come back to that point. Yeah, Pop goes the weasel. But yeah, I kind of to expand on the point where I was saying, I kind of agree with it. You know, this being a young team, and I know with fans, we're thirsting for it. We are crazy. We kind of got this love-hate relationship with the national media. We don't want to be a part of it, but secretly, you know, you want that respect as a team. You want to be able to talk shit. That's really what it is. I mean, you can't talk no shit, but you love your team. It feels kind of weak. But I do agree that with this being such a young team, that maybe they should not be ranked as high. You don't want to get the big head too soon. You don't want to start smelling yourselves too soon. That's when you start to make, you know, mistakes that you might not normally make, or you might think you are better than what you are. But we'll let Spitz finish the point that he was making, and I'll come back to that.
Well, yeah, I was just saying, like, I remember when we beat. I'm a thing crooked. I'm a thing won't. But I remember when we beat the Pittsburgh Steelers back in 2011, and when we did that, that changed the narrative how the perception that people thought about us because who we played against because it was the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I think that's what it has a lot to do with. I think it has a lot of this hype. The accolades that CJ is getting is definitely warranted. It is definitely is respected. It's definitely warranted. He was getting that before we even played Pittsburgh. They were talking about CJ last week after we beat Jacksonville. Like, so the accolades that he's getting is definitely warranted. But the hype train of the Texans themselves, oh, this is a team you can watch out for, mostly is because we beat a team that a lot of people respect, even though it's not the same Steelers team because they got that logo on the side of their helmet, it got that fan base, it got the black and yellow because of who they are, and you go out there and beat them, and not just beat them, you embarrass them. Like you made Pittsburgh Steelers fans be on national TV, be crying, like be talking sad sob stories. You got Stephen A. And Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, who won a Super Bowl with the Steelers, said he was embarrassed that he was a Pittsburgh Steeler because like some of y'all running back, y'all just give the running back and let the running back throw touchdowns against us. That's how y'all do. That's how bad y'all beating us. That's how we made them feel. So because they're like, oh, they can do that to Pittsburgh. Just imagine what they could do to anybody else. So that's really what it's about. It's mostly about us being the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I would definitely agree because that name does hold weight. It always holds weight. Even, there were some fans. I remember a couple of years back when a certain individual was here, referenced Pittsburgh when he was talking about fan bases and how they respond to their teams and how they, you know, how they act overall, right? How they know how to win. They have championship quality about them. And you mentioned Pittsburgh. So Pittsburgh just has that kind of. It's just that name. The Steelers are that team. Whether they're good or not. And the Steelers ain't never bad for too long. They might give you a bad year or two, but they'll be back in contention before you know it. That's just one of those franchises who win. Winning teams win, and losing teams lose. But coming back around to it, you know, looking at light skinned CJ, he's breaking some records. He's making some noise around the league, right? And he's showing this quality of leadership. And I kind of referenced it yesterday because it does give a little bit of that feel like, have we been here before? We as Texans fans have experienced something that put us on this high. And so that's kind of why you want to enjoy the high, but I am myself still a little reserved about it, right? Because it's got that old relationship feel. It's like I've been down this path before. I've seen this movie before. But again, CJ's not that. I don't want to believe he's that type of dude. And like Wise mentioned yesterday, I was thinking about this today. When he talked about he's already come from that lifestyle, right? He's already used to the flashy lifestyle. He's already used to that. So flashy cars and all those things ain't gonna mean nothing. When you come from nothing, you're gonna get distracted by all the shiny shit, and eventually that can pull at you. We're talking about Stroud. I've seen a lot of names, the Stroud boys. Somebody here said Stroud 9. Well, Ray said something else the other day. Yesterday, it's fun. But a lot of fans of CJ Stroud. How long do you think that CJ can keep this up? Because his name is in the conversation with greats. His name is in the conversation with legends. When you talk about the first few games of a career, right? He's doing things that haven't been done. How long do you think he keeps this up, Wise?
Man, I hope he can keep it up the whole season. I hope he can keep it up the whole season. But if I'm gonna be positive, I'm gonna say he keeping it up the whole season. I'm gonna be that positive fan. He gonna have maybe like one or two bad games, but and that's expected. Like, I mean, you can't have 16 straight games, 17 straight games of just balling out. You're gonna have a bad game or two. So he gonna have a game. He gonna throw a pick. He might throw two picks. Shit, he might even throw three picks in one game. I don't think he can do that. He's very accurate, but you never know. Uh, the kid is just the way he prepares. I heard D'Amico talk about it in his interviews and his press conferences. He says CJ is the hardest worker on the team. He the first one in the building. What he do is he as soon as they won the game last week against Jacksonville, he got on the plane. He said, "What?" They said, "What you doing after the game, CJ?" He said, "I'm about to watch this film for the Pittsburgh game. I'm finna watch Pittsburgh film on the plane." So he already preparing for the next week. He already looking at, okay, these are the plays, these are the formations that they lining up. Oh, when I see this type of front, okay, they bring the blitz, they playing man coverage, and it says that he's one of the best in man coverage in the league right now. So I mean, as long right now, I feel like the coaching staff is putting him in the right place, and the fact that we're getting Larry Tunsil back, the fact that we're getting Titus Howard back, both of his key tackles on the edge, he gonna have protection on the edge. That gives him more time to operate in the pocket. Let him have more of a feel in the pocket. Let him be more confident throwing it deep down the field, looking for guys, letting guys to run open. I mean, this kid, I think we haven't even seen the best of CJ yet. Matter of fact, and I mean, of course we haven't, but it's like we just get. He just said it the other day. It's just the beginning. It's only the beginning, and the beginning's been so impressive thus far. It's like, man, we never even seen this. This is better than Matt Sharp ever been. This is better than Brian Hoyer ever been. This is better than David Carr ever been. Like, we ain't never seen nothing like this before for Houston Texans. I mean, other than the Booty Bandits, we know Booty Bandits DW4. I mean, but CJ's on another level because he's an actual pocket passer. He's a guy that can control and command the whole offense. He's not trying to make too many flashy plays. He's not holding on to the ball too long, making mistakes, doing turnovers, getting his body killed. Because one thing I can say about CJ, he protected himself. When we was looking at Booty Bandits, he was going out there running, getting hit, broken ribs, collapsed lungs, poked in the eye, and doing all type of crazy stuff. And it was amazing to watch. But eventually, we know those type of quarterbacks don't have long careers. Cam Newton didn't make it past 32. Michael Vick didn't make it long. I mean, we could go down numerous of guys. All those mobile RG3, all those mobile quarterbacks don't have long careers. And we love Vince Young in Houston, and Vince Young didn't make it that long, even though the Texans fumbled the bag and should have drafted him. That's another whole another conversation. But young CJ, man, I mean, as long as he can, as long as Nico Collins can stay healthy, as long as Tank Dell can keep doing what he's doing, and Robert Woods is mentoring this young receiving group, and Bobby Slowick is calling this game plan, that's one thing. And I got to keep adding on to this. That's one thing we seen from the 49ers was when you look at that game plan from Kyle Shanahan, and we know that offense originates back to Houston from that Kubiak offense. Shanahan was a coach from Houston Texans as an assistant, so he started here. Um, it's QB friendly. They run a play action. They look for deep post routes. They get the ball out of their hands quick. They seem not to turn over the ball too many times. Look at Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy was the last player in the draft last year, Mr. Irrelevant. He came into that offense. He haven't lost a game. I think he only lost maybe one game. Or I don't remember if he lost one game or if he haven't lost a game as an NFL starter in the regular season yet. But the kid, what he doing in 49ers system right now is phenomenal. And CJ being in that type of system, and a lot of people had questions about him. Can CJ play underneath the pocket? Can CJ run the play action? When I was at training camp, I seen this guy running play action. I was like, man, this kid is phenomenal. And we seen in that Georgia game, like when we seen that Georgia game and he went against that number one defense, the back-to-back champions, he laid it all on the line. If it wasn't for his kicker missing that field goal, we might be talking about CJ possibly not being a Houston Texan because he would have won number one in the draft. They would have won a national championship. They would have blown out TCU. So I think it's going to be some areas that he still need to clean up. It's not going to be his accuracy or anything like that. It's just we got to see more when it comes to how Bobby Slow is going to open up the playbook for him. We've seen a little bit of that against the Jaguars. We've seen a little bit of it against the Steelers. And yeah, he's throwing it over 20 yards a lot. But let's see him throw a 60-yarder bombs. Let's see him throw a 70-yarder bomb. Let him we got to take those deep plays like on first down, first and 10. The offense thinking we finna run the ball up the middle like Bill O'Brien playbook. Go take big Nico, take big Tank down the field, throw it deep, give one of your receivers a chance to make a play on the ball. Who cares if it's an interception? As long as you give your receivers a chance to make a play, it can turn out to be a touchdown. Worst scenario is it can be a punt. So I think he can keep on this stretch for the remainder of the season. It's going to be a lot of pressure. It's going to be a lot of guys in the media saying, "Oh, CJ this, CJ that, CJ this," but he can't listen to the outside noise. He just got to stay focused, trust his process, and just be the quarterback that he always was going to be. And that's going to be the Houston Texans' first Super Bowl champion winners.
Super Bowl CJ, you say? Okay. And that's an interesting thing because I wonder how much of that motivated him, right? Not going number one. People doubting you, people saying all these things. You come out not, starting off, and not that he started off bad, again, like I said, he's been accurate, but people doubting you again, not taking into account, like you mentioned, you have at that point, what's the first thing, 4 starters were out on the line. You're working. It almost felt like old Houston Texans fashion, especially when it came to the old line. But you saw that he wasn't taking the lumps necessarily like old Texans quarterbacks when they had a patchwork line. That's the difference that I noticed. So I'm actually very excited to see how he's going to look with better protection, right? Because you have more time, you would think he can only make better decisions. And you've seen what he's been able to do, with what he's been working with. So I don't think we've seen the best of CJ, right? And again, this just being the rookie year. And again, yes, there will be ups, there will be downs. And I'm wondering how much of it's going to be if he does have, that bad game. People are going to look for something to nitpick because, especially those people who have to be right because there were a lot of people early on, they wasn't with it. and they're going to be looking for that moment to say, "See, I told you so." Shout out to OG77013. Said the booty bandit was pretending to be a good person through actions like the first check to the lunch lady. Thing like wealthy people do. The way CJ talks and presents himself can't be faked. He's real. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. Shout out to AB. Appreciate the super sauce, super chat love. Say, what's the motherfucking deal, Sauce Nation? I already. And I think that's it, right? And I think that is the thing. We've been hurt before as fans, and I again, that's why I say I'm still kind of reserved. But you do see the slight differences. You do see in the game his gameplay that is better than Deshaun. And again, Deshaun was flashy. It was broken plays. It was fuck ups, and he was able to capitalize on. This motherfucker runs an offense. I think y'all was saying in the Discord last night, or it might have been the stream last night, that you do get those vibes of, the greats, the Bradys and the Mannings, because is he making the players better around him, right? And to be that young. But I do agree.
Yeah, yes.
I do agree. Somebody is saying that we can't give CJ all the love. We have to account for the other side of the ball, because they have been playing very well on the other side of the ball. And y'all know my nigga Mr. Petrie is still my favorite on that side. I'm not gonna make any comments. I'm not gonna make any comments about another pick. I still felt like we should have anyway. Went a different way.
We ain't talking about that crybaby over there in New York wearing that green jersey. That crybaby lost them the game.
Man, the only reason they got there was Taylor Swift's fault, man. That was Taylor Swift's fault. They did, but there wasn't no hole.
I got a quick thing to add on that though. Yeah. The Panthers, they really screwed over CJ. Like when you watch the pre-draft process, I was pretty sure and confident that the Panthers was probably leaning CJ Stroud. And when you listen to Panthers fans, they say, yeah, Frank Wright choice was CJ Stroud. The coaching staff choice was CJ Stroud. The owner was who wanted Bryce Young. So we seen videos before the draft, after the combine, where what's the dude, Josh McCown, he was telling CJ Stroud, get ready to buy you a house. Come to I can't wait till you get out to Carolina. We're gonna play that game of horse and this and that. So I mean, they really screwed him up. So I think he got that mentality. He like, all right, that's what it is. And then right after that, that's when that S2 score stuff dropped. And he was talking about he had one of the lowest S2 scores of all time. I mean, I have never seen anybody. And I know people say, oh, we had players cry when they got drafted to be a Texan. Nobody cried to be a fucking Texan. Nobody ever cried. CJ broke down. When he broke down like that, bro, I was like, bro, that kid was really, like, when I seen him break down like that at the draft, bro, I was like, bro, he really went through, like, he was like questioning himself. He's like, bro, am I really that guy? Like, people telling me I'm not that guy, but I'm putting in all this work, and like, I understand where he coming from. And like, when he got drafted, and he first thing he did was start blowing out crying. Then he started celebrating. He went down to the fans, got down into the fans, and started celebrating with the Texans fans and shit like that. I was like, this kid is the one, bro. Yeah. This kid is gonna be the one. And like you said, with the Tom Brady, with the Peyton Manning thing, bro, he got a command of the offense. He's dissecting these defenses. He's making the reads. He's having anticipation on his throw. He's leading his receivers to the right spots. If we didn't have a sorry bastard like Dalton Schultz dropping wide open touchdown, he would have another touchdown on his stats right now. But the kid is phenomenal, man. And that's the type of quarterback that you need. You don't need somebody all flashy doing this. Name me a flashy quarterback or a mobile quarterback that didn't win a Super Bowl. You can't. I mean, you could say Jalen Hurts made it to the Super Bowl last year, but he lost. You could say Cam Newton made it to the Super Bowl, but he lost. It didn't work. Russell was.
That was Legion of Boom, and then Marshawn. And
that was the defense and Marshawn. Then they didn't win again.
Yeah, then when he didn't win, because he was making dumb decisions. That was a mobile maker decision. That's why he should have gave the ball to goddamn Marshawn. Instead, this motherfucker want to throw it anyway. But yeah, the likelihood of mobile quarterbacks having success, a high level of success in the league, is definitely low. Man, Mahomes is a galloper. He don't count. We ain't talking about that. Mahomes don't count.
Mahomes is come on,
Mahomes,
bro. Like,
Mahomes is more known for the passing. Like it's like you can be mobile, but if that's not if you don't use it in that sense, then it don't count. You know what I'm saying? You
throwing
have
for
mobility.
5,500 yards, that ain't no mobile quarterback, bro. He ain't rushing for no 500 yards a season. He ain't rushing for no 1,000 yards a season. Justin Fields is a mobile quarterback. Like Jalen Hurts is a mobile quarterback. I don't know who else in the league right now is a mobile quarterback besides them two, but yeah, maybe Bryce Young, but Bryce Young not even a mobile quarterback. Well, I don't know. He a midgets. He still got to prove it. I hope he do become successful though, because I want to see this rivalry between him and CJ's. AR-15 is a mobile quarterback.
Houston, Texas talk say Deshaun cried too, but only because he knew of all the massage parlors over here. That's fucked up.
Deshaun cried when he got that contract.
Yeah.
That's the difference. CJ cried when he got drafted and he got the opportunity to become a Texan. That don't happen. Deshaun cried because he was getting that bag, and he knew he needed that bag, bro. CJ already had the bag.
Deshaun cried because he pulled the finesse. He knew he pulled a long con over us. He pulled the finesse over. He's like, finally, I got him. You know what I'm saying? And after that, it was all down. It really was all downhill from there. You know, after that contract, and we was in the Discord, and I told some particular individuals that nigga didn't start acting Hollywood. And he's like, nah, not Deshaun, no way. Yeah, I saw what happened shortly after that. Like, yeah, that motherfucker was a phony. I'm always be upset about that because I feel like he pulled a real okie doke on us. But but like I say, looking at the other side of the ball and what is going on the other side, what has been the most impressive thing about the Texans defense this year to you?
Let me start off with the bad before I get into the impressive.
Okay.
The bad is the interior D line. The defensive line has been terrible. Like, I mean, not the defensive line, the interior defensive line has been terrible. Malik Collins, you got to step it up, bro. Sheldon Rankins had a hell of a game last week. So he had a hell of a game. He was chasing dudes down. He looked athletic. But the first 3 games, it's been terrible because teams been able to run the ball up the middle. They've been pushing us off the line of the scrimmage. And they got to do a better job. But the good thing that I've been seeing out of this defense and the best thing that I've been seeing out of this defense is, even though, you know what, this is a good time to give somebody some love right now.
Okay.
Out of all the slanders, out of all the years, everybody in the Houston Texans fan wanted to get rid of this one player. He got the same number as Michael Jordan. He got the same number as LeBron James when he was in Cleveland. And that's Mr. Eric Murray. Mr. Eric Murray. I have to say it. Eric Murray has played phenomenal this season. When his time was called, bro, he had to be on the field. He stepped up in big times. I mean, he forced fumbles. He was forcing incompletions. He hasn't given up any touchdowns. He's been making tackles for loss. He's been all over the field. Last week he was playing a lot, even though Petrie came back for the first time. And it's like, okay, we had Petrie only that Ravens game, and then he went down in the first half. Eric Murray had to play that whole second half. And then we didn't have Jimmy Ward. People forget we didn't have Jimmy Ward or Petrie those first 3 games. And we got Jimmy Ward back last week, but those first 2 games we didn't have him, and Eric Murray had to step in. MJ Stewart had to step in. Then we lose Stingley, and it's like, okay, well, we know we got Shaq Griffin, but Shaq Griffin haven't looked like Shaq Griffin since he was in Seattle. What is Shaq Griffin gonna do? Then we lose Tavier Thomas, who was rated the number 1 slot corner in the league. And it's like, damn, we taking blows all over the secondary. But you know who else? And I gave up to Eric Murray, but the best player on this defense right now is Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson is the best player on the defense right now. Steven Nelson been locking it down. He been holding it down, covering the number 1 receivers, playing in man coverage. He got 2 interceptions this season. We only in 4 games. He got 2 interceptions. Running down the field, reading routes, identifying how the offense is lining up. He even said on that pick from the Steelers this past week, he said, "I've noticed they ran that play against the Raiders. When I seen that formation, I knew exactly what they was running." What he do? He ran down the field with the receiver, made the play on the ball on Austin, and got the pick and put the offense in a nice position to go and put some points on the board. So I think the biggest, brightest spot of this defense right now is definitely the secondary, because it doesn't matter who we missing. We can stick in MJ Stewart. We can stick in Eric Murray. We can stick in Shaq Griffin. We can stick in Arnold. We can stick in any one of those guys, and they still balling out. Now, when we get to the linebacking group, I like what I seen from Cashman. I like what I'm seeing from Henry Toto Odo. We tried to tell him. See, this is why you gotta watch Saw Sports. Cause we be telling y'all about these players in the draft videos. Y'all don't be watching the draft video. We know y'all don't watch the draft videos, but we be trying to tell y'all about these players in the draft videos. And Henry Toto Odo, man, he had a phenomenal game last week. In those first two games, he struggled. He was missing tackles. He was looking lost on the field. But these last 2 weeks, he's been finding the right places. He's been able to identify, shoot those gaps, make tackles for a loss, make big plays. He just contested a catch in the back of the end zone, taking the TD away from the Steelers in a key pivotal moment when they was driving down the field. Though in Christian Harris, Perriman, we lost Perriman to a hand injury, and it's like, bro, we taking injuries at key spots, but the way D'Amico is trusting in these young guys, these second-year rookie players, putting them in key positions to make plays, it's looking good. And for us to only allow the Steelers to put up 6 points is phenomenal. For us to only allow Jacksonville to hold Jacksonville to, I forget how many points it was. We just dusted Jacksonville, but for us to have a dominant performance against Jacksonville, it was very pivotal. And when it's great to see. And Christian Harris and Toto Odo is going to be a project for D'Amico, because when D'Amico's with the 49ers, we seen what he did with Drake Greenlaw. We seen what he did with Fred Warner. We seen what he did with all of those Aziz that's with the Titans right now. These were later round pick at linebacker positions, and he was able to develop them to the star players that they are today. And the last position group on the defensive line that I really love, and that's going to be the edge. The edge been killing it, man. We ain't getting, teams is not running the ball outside of the tackle on us. They collapse in the pocket. They put in pressure. You see, even though we ain't getting the sacks like we want to get the sacks, what you got to look at is we got quarterbacks on the run, trying to throw the ball down the field, throwing the ball away, forcing turnovers. I mean, forcing incompletions, getting tackles for a loss. All those key things is important. When people want to just look at sack is not everything. It's about collapsing the pocket, making the quarterback making an irrational decision while trying to throw on the run, something he's not used to, and making mistakes, forcing an interception, forcing fumbles, forcing turnovers. So Jonathan Grenard was the guy I told a lot of people to watch out for. I was like, people were slandering Jonathan Grenard. Jonathan Grenard is a bust. Jonathan Grenard is this. Jonathan Grenard, get rid of him, cut him. Why would you cut a dude that was a third-round pick? And how can a third-round pick be a bust? But anyways, I don't even want to get started on that. But the kid, his second year with the Texans, had 9 sacks. Last year, he had injuries. I mean, what do you expect? Okay, he had injuries. He gonna bounce back. We've seen how he's bounced back this year. He has 3 sacks, I think, right now. 3 sacks in 4 games, and he looks phenomenal. The way he's shooting off the edge, the way he was able to make that big 4th down play and get that sack on Kenny Pickett. Jonathan Grenard is playing phenomenal. Y'all know how I feel about Willie Anderson. Willie Anderson is a grown man. They just came out with a stat today and say he's the 3rd most double team player, edge defender in the league right now, behind Micah Parsons and Nick Bosa. So I know a lot of people like, what's going on with Will Anderson? What's going on with Will Anderson? He only got 1 sack. He a rookie. He getting double team, the 3rd highest double team player in the league right now, and he gonna fight through it. He gonna learn. It's gonna take a little while. It took JJ a little while to get acclimated with the NFL. So, I mean, it's just been impressive. And then we got guys like Dylan Horton, a late round pick from TCU. He's looking impressive when he's been on the field. Jerry Hughes is an OG. You know, Jerry Hughes gonna do his thing when he do his thing. He's just an OG. He just coaching up the young guys. But this defense as a whole, And don't get me wrong, I love Petrie. Petrie is my favorite player on the defense, like Honcho said. Petrie, a lot of people think it's Stingley, but Petrie is definitely my favorite player. First of all, he's from the Southwest. Second of all, he went to Stafford. Third of all, he a light skinned nigga.
It's too much light skin on this team. Too
And he a
much.
hot ass. And I watched him at Baylor, bruh. And like I said, y'all don't watch the draft videos, but on them draft videos, we was saying, "Hey, Petrie, that guy," and he's a guy that can play in the nickel. He was a guy that was in college that played corner, the nickel, and he played free and strong safety. He can play in the box. He can play. He can cover down the field. He can line up in man coverage. He remind me of the Honey Badger, like coming out of LSU. And a lot of people's like, man, he ain't the honey badger. He ain't the honey badger. He better than a honey badger. Or he ain't even gonna be the player honey badger. But so far, what we've seen from Petrie, he's one of the most valuable players on this team. Beside him, Steven Nelson, and if we can get Stingley to be healthy and backing up and healthy, and Tavier Thomas is gonna be back later this season, this defense is going to be on a whole different level. And that's going to be great because on the back end of the schedule is when we got a lot of divisional games coming up. We play the Titans twice. We got to play the Colts again. And we got to finish off on the Jags. And that might push us over the hedge to go ahead and win the division and make a playoff run with a rookie quarterback. So I like what D'Amico is doing. At first, we was kind of scared. The first 2 weeks, we were like, damn, we're not seeing that swarm mentality. Dude's not swarming to the ball like D'Amico wanted him to do. And what D'Amico do? He had the post-game interview. I mean, the interview on Tuesday, like the Houston Texans drop every Tuesday with John Harris and Mark Vandermeer. He like, bruh, we calling the plays. We telling these guys and putting them in the right position. They not executing. They being hard-headed. They not holding themselves accountable. This is unacceptable. This is a bad performance that they put out on the field. So when you hold your team accountable and they respond like they did against the Jaguars and the Steelers, it's only up from there. And the fact that we're getting healthy starters back, we're going to be getting Hassan Ridgeway back. We're going to be getting Denzel Perryman back. We're going to be getting Stingley back. We're going to be getting Tavier Thomas back. It's going to be this defense is going to be some dogs. And the good thing about this, I know we're still talking about this season, but next season we got 100 millions in cap space. So D'Amico and this team, we just barely scraping the surface, but it's gonna take it to a whole nother level. But I'm very impressed. It's a lot of good things to say about this defense, but we gotta fix that interior D line. Malik Collins, you're getting the slanders right now because you got the big contract. You're the third highest player on the team. You got to play better. We got to put some pressure on the centers, on these guards. We got to get some sack. We got to get some tackle for a loss. We got to stop this run game, especially going against these Atlanta Falcons, who got two great running backs in a two-tandem system with Bijan and Algier.
Yeah. So you covered a couple of things that you mentioned, and I mean, and one that applies to both sides of the ball, and that's why, I kind of trolled a little bit by saying the Texans are clearly a top 10 team. But I'm saying this, if this team was completely healthy, I think you're talking about a much better team than we realize. Like, I mean, we haven't seen all the pieces come together and work together. You know what I mean? And so, and that's on both sides of the ball. Real quick, shout out to Ian Perez. Appreciate the super chat love. Let's see. Shout out to Red Lobo. I appreciate the membership. But I'm telling you, man, it's definitely a lot of positivity. You feel it in the air, right? You feel it in the conversation. It's I don't know, I just don't want to get too high. But going back to the other thing you mentioned about playing young players. We've had coaches in the past who didn't trust the youth. And it seemed like, in my opinion, those guys all kind of had a failure to launch. Like a lot of those guys that came in young, that were believed to be extremely talented, they came into coaching staffs that kind of suppressed them. Oh, you're just a rookie, so you're not going to get that playing time, or you're not going to get to see the field like that. But like you said, D'Amico is trusting the young guys. How much of that do you think plays a role in their confidence when they step on the field and their ability to execute when your coach is willingly playing you like that?
Oh, 100%. When you're a young player and your coach like, yo, it's your opportunity to go shine. This your opportunity to go make a play. This your opportunity to make a foundation for yourself. hey, as a young player, you're gonna go out there, you're gonna play free, you're gonna make your mistakes. But it's about how you're gonna learn from those mistakes, how you're gonna make adjustments, how you're gonna prove to coach that, hey, yeah, I made this mistake, but I'm gonna make sure it don't happen again. So it's definitely boosting their confidence, and that's the key. Bill O'Brien would not play any rookie players. Like, he didn't even want to start Deshaun Watson. Like, come on, dog. He didn't want to start Deshaun. Like, come on, bro. We knew Deshaun should have been the starter week 1 over Tom Savage, but it's good to see, man, because you got guys like Tank Dell that deserves to be on the field. We see what type of impact he makes on the offensive side of the ball. We seen what would happen if we would have sat CJ these first couple of weeks, like everybody was saying. Uh-oh,
No, I'm serious. We good.
you still?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
what we would have done if we would have sat CJ and had him as a backup and had a veteran quarterback and had CJ just sit back and learn. The only way you can really learn is by being on the field, by being in the process, by making mistakes. That's the only way you can learn. Yeah, people gonna bring up Patrick Mahomes as an example, but I mean that's Patrick Mahomes. I mean that's one example. Like, show me another example. Show me another example. And even Patrick Mahomes got a little bit of playing time. He had a great veteran quarterback in Alex Smith, who was a former #1 pick in the draft. So I mean, he had a good coach in Andy Reid, who coached Donovan McNabb and all of these greats. So he had a great foundation around him. With a guy like, when it comes to the Houston Texans, that hurt us in the past. We had guys like Kiki QTs, and I can go down the list. It's a lot of guys where the fan base thought these guys had potential, but when you just hold them out because they're a rookie, even though you're seeing what type of impact they're making in training camp and in practices and things of that sorts, and you just hold them on the sideline, and then you want to throw them in later in the season or the following season, and they not doing anything, and then you just want to cut the player the following season. It's like, did you really give the player an opportunity? You seen he was making plays. You seen what type of impact he was making in practice and in training camp, and then in preseason. Why not give the kid an opportunity, especially for a team that ain't got nothing to lose? So I love what D'Amico is doing, embracing this youth movement with Christian Harris, with Toto Odo, with uh with Tank Dell, even Mechie. This is another player, Mechie, bro. We gotta talk about Mechie, bro. They gotta. I like what they've been doing with Mechie. They've been slowly bringing him in, bringing him in, bringing him in. Every week we've been. First week he didn't play. Second week they activate him, but they put him in 2 plays. They put him in like 5, 10 plays, but they getting a little obvious with it because majority of the time when Mechie in the game is for running situations because he's a phenomenal run blocker. But a kid like Mechie, once he get his real opportunity to play a full game, bruh, we might be like, whoa, we really got another dog on this. CJ got another dog, another threat on his offensive side of the ball. So that's the only player I'm like, bruh, him, Xavier Hutchinson, they gonna get their opportunities. I understand why they not playing right now because we got big Nikos, we got big Tanks, and we got Robert Woods doing their thing right now. But to me, Xavier Hutchinson and Mechie should be up next and getting their opportunities. That bum Noah Brown, get him out of here. He don't deserve an opportunity over the young guys. He came from Dallas Cowboys. He need to go back to Dallas Cowboys. Um, who else? Who else? Oh, the offensive line. They didn't even have a choice. They was just thrown into a situation where they didn't even have the choice. We had to put the rookie offensive lineman out there. And it's unfortunate that we lost Juice Scruggs right before the season started and put him on IR. We should be getting him, if we don't get him back this week, we should be getting him back next week against the Saints. But like, Juice Scruggs gonna have an opportunity to start. Jared Patterson. Look what we didn't found in Jared Patterson. Jared Patterson's been looking phenomenal at the center position right now. I mean, that's a 6th round pick that we found. We could have possibly found our starting center. And if he's not, and if Juice comes back and Juice goes to center, then we gotta try Patterson at guard. And if he's looking good at guard, hey, Kenyon Green, what's going on, bruh? Hey, we know you. We had hope in you. You was a top 12 pick last year, but you're gonna have some competition coming in next year because, hey, the best ability is availability, and the next guy step up and he playing well, he playing great. It's gonna be hard to try to just insert you back into the situation just because you was a high draft pick. Nah, the best guys got to play on the field, and I think that's what D'Amico was doing, and that's the type of culture you want to have. You want to have you want to have competition at every single position, and nobody job should be safe other than CJ Stroud. Nobody job should be safe other than CJ and Jalen Petrie and Willie
Yeah.
Anderson's. The rest of them they gotta earn their jobs. So even Big Nico doing good these first 4 weeks, but he gotta continue to show us because we seen what Nico he can have these great games and then come back and have 30-yard games and disappear. So
But is it really on Nico? Because we were looking as we were in the Discord, we was chopping it up earlier, and somebody showed, the difference in the play calling, and you've seen the difference in Nico's ability to execute. So has Nico been being suppressed all this time? Are we seeing the true Nico, or are we still trying to find out? Are we still tentative right now?
are we calling play calling or are we calling Davis Mills?
And that's also a factor. I
It
mean,
gotta be
Davis Mills was a goat. I ain't gonna turn my back on my boy like that. Just because Stroud is a little bit better. A
come on.
little bit better. Davis Mills was having to deal with the same coaching situation. He didn't get the D'Amico love. You know what I'm saying? So, like necessary. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. So I don't know if my boy Davis Mills really got a fair shot. I mean, I'm rocking with light skin CJ. I'm rocking with
Davis
light
Mills
skin. I don't know if he got a fair
Davis
shot.
Mills Davis Mills not better than the shit on CJ Stroud tissue toilet paper, my nigga. They
That's
flush
terrible.
that nigga down the toilet. That nigga down the sewer. Davis Mills, stop it, bro. And I don't know why they didn't trade this sorry bastard to the Jets or somebody like that need a quarterback. Trade that bastard. We got Case Keenum as our backup quarterback. Case Keenum been doing a phenomenal job mentoring CJ too. That's getting unnoticed. And Gerard Johnson. We don't give a lot of love to Gerard Johnson, ex A&M quarterback. Gerard Johnson, CJ Stroud. I mean, Gerard Johnson, Case Keenum. Like you said, the coaching is having an impact on them in the play calling. But with Nico, it's been a lot of his injuries in the past because he'll start the season off with a hamstring injury and then it will linger. Then he'll have some of those big burst games. And yeah, a little bit can be accustomed to the play calling, but a lot of it can be on him just being healthy and him being more aggressive. He came out in the interview and said, "Yo, I got to be more aggressive. When I get the ball, I got to start trying to run over dudes." I'm telling you, we made a whole nickname for Nikos. We slandered Nikos this off season. We slander a player every off season just so they can prove us wrong. And we don't hate our players for the Texans or anything. We just want to see them do better. But we called them Charmin. We call him Charmin, ultra sauce, bruh. You know why? Because he would just catch the ball. He wasn't being aggressive. He didn't want to go for them jump balls. He didn't want to run dudes over. When you see Nico in person, I don't know how many of y'all in the chat been to an actual Texans game or practice, a training camp or anything like that. But Nico Collins is a huge dude, bruh. And so he should be doing the likes of what Mike Evans doing and all of these other guys, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen's and all of them are doing, bruh. So I, I can't say it's just play calling. It's accustomed to the coaching, uh, him being available, and him being more aggressive. So I'm glad what we've seen from him. I just hope that he can keep it consistent throughout the rest of the season. Like I said, I want to pay them bets that I made earlier this year to DYL and Rule.
Shout out to HT Jason, the artist from the Nose Doctor. I appreciate the super chat love. Say that defense is going to be lights out. Shout out to Ian Perez. So you think Nelson is going to stay after being criminally underpaid? Right now, he'll get a bag anywhere. And shout out to my ex for giving me the clap. Wow. I've seen a lot of statements made in the sauce. Appreciate the super saucy super chat love. You probably don't appreciate the super saucy X love, but that's super clap love, not super chat love. So I hope you got some penicillin or something for that. That's definitely a den conversation. And shout out to Professor Tree. Appreciate the super saucy super chat love, saying, why sitting there looking like the crocodile hunter with the matching Stingray man purse?
Oh my gosh. Don't get me started on this Lakers fan. This grandpa Santa Claus. What are you talking about right now? Don't get me started on Trill. Come on. Remember,
Yeah.
Mr. You the light skins. Remember? Don't get me
Mhm.
started.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Did somebody say this Trio still a Browns fan? Yeah, you was over there. You traveled.
so
You traveled with Deshaun Watson Trio. That will
this
always be on your resume.
this man showed up to. We watched the Browns and the Texans game at Bombshells. This man came on with the Browns jersey, with the Browns pants, with the Browns lanyard, with the Browns sock, with the Air Force Ones to match, with the Browns hat. I'm like, oh my gosh, bruh. This man became a whole. And then we had, I was like, bro, we gotta accept him back to the Texans. We gotta do some official review. We gotta do some voting in the chat to accept him back to the Texans after doing that one. But Trill, he a real one. They took my boy Trill name. They made a Trill Burgers. To me, I would be doing a lawsuit right now. But Trill, we all good in the books. You can slander me this, you can slander me that, but you a Lakers fan at the end of the day, so I ain't gotta do no slander, and they'll take care of it themselves.
Mm, mm. That's
And
very
somebody said something about Steven Nelson,
yeah.
bruh. The Texans Twitter, I don't know what's been going on with Texans Twitter, but it's terrible. They
Mm,
was slandering this man. I'm over here defending Steven Nelson, bruh. There's maybe like 5 people defending Steven Nelson, bruh.
yeah.
They over here like, yeah, trade Steven Nelson because he don't agree with Nicky Casario. He making jokes with Nicky Casario. We don't need players like this on our team. No, we need players like this on our team. Hold the fucking organization accountable. Talk shit. Yeah, talk shit to these to your general manager, to your coach, like, hey, I'm that dude. Give me an opportunity. Pay me. I want to be here. That's the problem with the Houston Texans. When it's a player that want to be here, we don't want to extend them. We don't want to sign them. We don't want to keep them. We let them walk. They go to other teams. They become superstar player. They get a Super Bowl ring. Then all our Texans fans like, oh damn, look at Jacoby Jones. Look at him. He just won a Super Bowls. Oh man, look at James Casey. Oh man, look at Connor Bowen. Oh man, look at D'Amico. He went to the Eagles. He balling out. Oh man, look at DJ Reader. He balling with the Bengals right now. After all the fans were saying we didn't need a DJ Readers, and our defensive tackle position hasn't recovered since then. I can
Mm,
go on with numerous and numerous of players. It's just a bro. When a player said he want to be a Texan and they want to stay here, pay that man. And now you're gonna have to really pay him. And if I was Nick Casario, I would try to get the deal done before the end of the season. I would definitely try to pay him right now. Go ahead and give him $10 million a year if that's gonna make him happy. Maybe a 2 or 3 year contract extension, and he's still talking about that extension. Pay that man; he deserves it. And I'm glad that D'Amico, because if this was Bill O'Brien still here, he would have let the ego get in ahead of him. He
yeah.
would have cut him. He would have never even been on this team anymore. He would have been traded for a seventh round pick, for some. He just would have been out of here, bruh. And the one thing I couldn't say Nicky Casario is he didn't let that affect him. Steven Nelson didn't let that affect them. They took the situation like two grown men. They hashed it out. They talked about it, and it was like, "Yo, we're gonna work this out." He wound up giving him a pay raise, and shit, look at how it's turning out right now. But if I was Nick Casario, you definitely got to give him an extension before the season end. Especially, we got so much cap on this team going into next year free agency. Why not? And then we got to forget cap space is a myth. As long as you make your player a player contract a full signing bonus the next season, you opening up more cap space. So Tunsil, Titus, Steven Nelson, you could just make them fully guaranteed next season, and you opening up another $30 million cap. Sign that, give that man Steven Nelson. You know what? That's the thing. Every week on the sauce, when we go live, we're making it a Steve. Give Steven Nelson an extension. That's the new thing. Give Steven Nelson an extension. We're gonna make that a hashtag.
You're gonna have to instead of pay me Rick, you're gonna have to choose to pay me Nick.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild.
Put some
Okay.
respect on that man's name.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned Eric Murray earlier, and if I recall, I know that Eric Murray used to be one of them players on the clearance rack of the shirt store. You know what I'm saying? Like he was definitely a cheap T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? You bought out the store with the hole in it already and shit. So it is. I can agree with you. has made markedly respectable improvement. You know what I mean? So I guess we can take him off the clearance rack. You know, we'll put him on the we'll fold him up, put him on the shelf. He's a nice shirt right now. But
I don't
here's
know about going all that far, but
yeah,
yeah,
like I'm not so saying he on the shirt he fold. He ain't on like a hanger quite yet, like in a nice area of the store. Like
nah, he in the hanger at Ross and Marshalls. You know when you can find a designer, you go
yeah,
to Marshalls and Ross, you can find a nice designer shirt every now and then. Every blue moon, you be like, oh shit, this at Marshalls.
yeah.
Oh, I gotta pick it up real fast. Yeah, yeah, that's what he is right now.
Okay, okay. So good deal at Marshall's type steel. Okay, okay. He ain't on
Yeah,
a regular rack yet. All right.
pay
Uh,
less. What they call it? Pay less. I forgot the Logan right now.
hey, you know what? That might be a new thing. That might be a new deal or something. We're gonna see who we got to put on the clearance rack, man. Who is going with the cheap t-shirts? Who is who on the clearance rack this week? Well, we're gonna have to look at that after the game. That might be a post game thing. We might start putting boys on the clearance rack. But okay, man, real quick because I ain't gonna lie to y'all, my shit is about to die out. I didn't get a full charge before the deal, trying to figure out what was going on with teams. But yes, everybody asking. First, make sure y'all hit that like button. I don't know how deep we are right now. Yeah, hit that like button. It's greatly appreciated. Very necessary. And it definitely helps with you getting the notification next time we do go live. We're 97 deep, man. 82 likes. Okay. Hit that like button. Shout out to everybody who showed some super saucy super chat love. If you want to, Fubu clearance rack, stop the ball. That's terrible. If y'all want to be a part of the conversation, want to be a part of Discord, with two ways to do it. You can join via Patreon, or you can become a channel member. If you are a channel member, you don't have access to the Discord. Shoot me an email at saucesports@gmail. I'll make sure that everything is up and up. If you are in the Discord, y'all know what we do. After every stream, we slide up in that motherfucker. We chop it up real live. And it's always a great time, man. So make sure y'all are there for that. Wise man, anything you want to say to the people before we slide up out of here?
Yeah, I can do a couple shout outs real fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely.
All right. Shout out to my Houston Rockets. They had training camp today. My Houston Rockets finally did training camp. I get all my Houston Rocket news from Houston Roundball Review and Greenleaf. Both of them, they phenomenal. They always dropping videos. I mean, it's been a long time. We remember days when there was no Rockets coverage on YouTube, man. Now I'm like, bro, I got something to watch with my Rockets. Nobody be giving the Rockets no love. But fingernail painters Jalen Green back. He gotta redeem himself after that all-season video. We got Freaky Ime in the building. We gotta see what Freaky Ime gonna be doing this season, coaching these young cats back up. Hopefully he bring me along courtside because Wise gonna have to attend a lot of games if that's the case. And then I mean and we got Fred VanVleet, we got Dylan Brooks. So shout out to them Houston Rockets, shout out to them Houston Astros, shout out to my
Shout
boy
out to
Hector.
you,
Hector
man.
always gonna stay on y'all. Make sure y'all watch them Astros. Ray too, Tenny too. Make sure y'all stay on them Astros. Make sure y'all stay on them Astros. They won the AL West. Them Rangers lost. Yes, Biz. I know you heard it right now in the chat. Them Rangers lost the division the last game of the season. So shout out to the Astros. Y'all got the bye week.
Humble
We need to
today.
see another ring. We gotta go back to back, man. We gotta go back to back. We need another celebration parades. Last shout out. I'm just gonna shout out everybody in the chat.
Yep.
Man, y'all been holding it down for the sauce. No matter how long we've been going, no matter how much smack we talk, how derogatory we get at times, y'all still fuck with us at the end of the day, and we fuck with y'all. We love y'all opinion. Once we get the sauce line back open, it's gonna be a phenomenal time because we want to hear what y'all say. We value y'all opinion. Yeah, we might not agree at all times, but at the end of the day, we one big family, and we finally to seeing the fruits of this fruition when it comes to this organization with the Houston Texans. So I just want to say thanks, Sauce Nation. Thank you, Texan fan. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure y'all hit the subscribe button. Make sure y'all hit the Discord. Get the Patreon. Shout out to Honcho for letting me be on the stream today. Shout out to everybody in the Roundtable: Wing, Spitz, Tenny, Swish, Broderick, Trill, Honcho, Hector. If I'm missing anybody, I didn't mean to oh, Ray. If I'm missing you, I'm sorry. It's a lot of people. But that's all I wanted to do with my shout outs. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, shout out to the entire round. The only round in this town, when you ask me. But again, like Wise said, man, Sauce Nation, the motherfucking fresh ingredients. Ain't nothing like y'all, man. Again, like I said, hadn't slid through in quite some time, and just to get a good round table stream like we did yesterday, and that feeling, just the love, just to how hear out in the comments, everybody excited to see that, like, y'all don't understand what that means. And I know the round been ready. Like I say, don't be mad at the round. They've been ready. It has been on me. But again, we good to go. Like, we back at it. The way that y'all were used to the sauce is coming back. And again, we gonna ride. So but not I won't say the way it used to be. It's going to be better than what it used to be. So y'all just stay tuned for that. If you are a member of the Patreon, make sure that thing. If you are a member, remember, if you are to be in the Discord, it's like 24-hour sauce. Like you said yesterday, you literally get up in there and something shake. More than likely, it's going to be urgent news in the Discord and get talked about before it gets, you know what I'm saying, to the sauce. People be at work. You be at work, you want to chop it up. The thing about the sauce Discord, and it's not just, it's 95% sports, right? And the blend of sports and comedy and capping, which is leave it like that. But there it's like more of a network. It's like a brotherhood. It's like it's a different thing. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy in the sauce is much different. Like you know what I mean? It's something you want to be a part of. I know there's a lot of groups doing a lot of stuff, and it's cool. I'm not knocking what nobody do, but it ain't nothing like there's nothing. Nobody got nothing like the sauce, and that's not saying that just because you know, this is something that I'm a part of. Even when I wasn't as active, just sitting back and watching how the community still operated. It's a beautiful thing. That's something you want to be a part of, man. But shout out to all y'all. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure y'all got all the notification bells on. 6 p.m. Central. Rest of the week we rocking. With that being said,
Wait. We forgot one thing before you go.
yes, sir.
Happy birthday to that light skinned nigga, young C.
It is light skinned CJ's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to light skinned CJ. Happy birthday, man. 22, and you already breaking records, man. Look, hey, hopefully much more to come. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I can't knock that. You know, I guess the light skins got to get a win every now and then. Oh man. And tomorrow, yeah, we're gonna have to. I don't know. We gotta. I don't know why. We might have to do a video talking about, you know, KPJ and the nonsense. Like, it's just some things I wanted to pull out the woodworks and just kind of address. It might not even be that necessary. We might just talk about it in the Discord, because it's just some things I think about this man's behavior over the years that I'm not even surprised that what happened, because I think the signs were there beforehand. But anyway, shout out to Baytown, to the Dirty Bay. I see you. Anyway, Chuck the Deuce. Don't meet us there, beat us there. We in the Discord right now. Like, by the time we start about this thing, in the Discord. So, man, again, appreciate y'all. Shout out to the love. Appreciate everybody who showed love today. Man, hit that like button. Tell a friend about the sauce. Y'all know Houston Texans fans are lost. So go ahead and bring them to the sauce. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somebody out there just like he's like, damn, I ain't been getting that content I need. I ain't been getting that energy I need, man. Look, hey, tell a friend about the sauce. We're finna get this thing right. But we appreciate each and every one of y'all. Shout out to Sauce Nation. And again, if you're in the Discord, we in that thing. With that, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. Most of all, y'all stay saucy. We out.